morning to those of you that are joining us on YouTube, and good morning to everyone here in this sanctuary. It's a great day. The weather is very spring-like, and we are all basking in all of that. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. And so one of the first things is this coming Saturday, Reverend Valerie is having her creative visualization workshop, and it is from 10 a.m. and starting at 10 a.m. And you can still sign up. There are quite a lot of people already there, so you will be joining a large cohort. And of course, Valerie's here today, so you can talk with her about that as well. Sunday is a really, really big day. We're having our annual meeting. I expect the room to be packed wall to wall with people who are eager to find out what is going on in our center, because we've had a lot of stuff lately. It's a lot of plant stuff about the building, and you get to hear it all in one place and summarized, and so that you can understand what we're having to do, what we're going to do, what we've been doing about that big flood that happened from our roof. And so on Sunday, on the 28th of April, we are really delighted to have Michael Pascal, who's an amazing musical meditation person, and he has this experience that he is going around sharing with a number of CSLs. He feels very compatible, and he came highly recommended to us from another minister who has had him and his entire experience at their center. So really looking forward to the virtuoso pianist that accompanies them is also playing. And they are going to be playing in Carnegie Hall in December, but they play here first. And so I always like to say, because it's just so much fun, what is it take? How do you get to Carnegie Hall is the question. Practice, right. Well, they're going to practice here. And so I think that's wonderful. I'm really looking forward to it. The tickets are $35, and it will be after service on Sunday the 28th. The drumming circle is not meeting the last Sunday because Michael Pascal is coming the last Sunday in April, but is meeting the first Sunday in May. And so we will have a great experience with them. They're also going to be doing their own the drumming circle, as well as putting together business for the talent show. So stay tuned for all of that. The talent show is going to be on May the 18th. So check out the flyer on our activity table for the next Science of Mind class that we're going to be having. Reverend Kathy is going to teach that, Reverend Kathy Sinfield. It's an in-person class, and it has 5 weeks, and it's going to be in Richelieu Hall starting Thursday, May the 9th. It is called Keys to Manifesting, also sometimes called Mental Equivalence. We are offering and continue to offer 2 book study groups. One is in person on Tuesday morning, starting at 10, goes from 10 to 11, and one on Wednesday morning that is online using Zoom, and it goes from 9:45 until 10:30. And each of those is involved in a book now, and you can join at any point. But also, both groups tend to pick another book to continue if you like that experience. We also have a book study, if you will, on Sunday morning with Ernest Holmes from 10:15 to 10:45. So it's just before service. And we are currently reading Living the Science of Mind. And so it is an Ernest Holmes book, and it really is a wonderful experience to get that taste of Ernest Holmes, and you kind of get immersed and taste it before you come into the service. So it's a great way to enhance your own point of view and lift your own consciousness as you come to service. We always are so incredibly appreciative of our volunteers. I see volunteers sitting here in the sanctuary, and I know that there's some that are back in the back bringing this time to us. And so let's just say clap, clap, clap for all of these wonderful people, because we really can't do this without volunteers. It's incredible how much they do for us. And so now the pink light is going to be shared with the wonderful Reverend Valerie Reeves, who's going to talk about lots of good things. Yeah.
I am. Thank you. Woo, best day ever. I am so excited to be here with all of you. So I want to thank Tracy because she does all of our marketing, and I don't know if you know that she is the one that creates those wonderful marketing ads that go out, but beautiful. And I decided that Planting Seeds of Greatness is my talk title today, and then I'm thinking, what do I really know about planting? I know very little, so, except that when my dad would plant seeds, because he grew corn, milo, hay, barley, that once in a while in the wheat fields there'd be those wonderful golden grains of wheat standing up and a corn stalk right in the middle. It's like, oh, the seeds got just a little bit mixed up, because it's like, what happened? Sometimes the seeds aren't pure. So, looking at planting pure seeds. Now, I did once upon a time try to grow a garden, and I couldn't tell which is the weeds and which are the plants, right? So I ended up just mowing off the whole area. I have to say I was pregnant with my third child at that point, so it's like, okay, we're just gonna mow this over. How many of you are gardeners? I know we have our beautiful, amazing volunteer gardeners and other gardeners that are here making it beautiful outside, so I appreciate that. I'm still winding down from the drive down here. Something has happened in the universe. It's like, okay, LA area has gotten busier and busier, and it's always worth the journey to get here to see everyone, and so I'm excited about that. Most of you know that I have moved to Apple Valley, where my granddaughters are, so that's been a lot of fun. And my two little granddaughters, one is 5 and one is 7, and they are vegan. And I took them shopping for Easter dresses, and my little one, who's 5, I said, you could probably wear a 6 and then it'll last longer. And she found a 6X and she's like, I could wear the 6X. And I said, oh, honey, I think the X is for the extra large for the bigger girls. Oh, the meat eaters. They need more room for the meat. I'm like, okay, well, that's a theory. Out of the mouths of babes. It's like, okay, that's pretty fun. Anyway, planting seeds of greatness. So looking at changing our paradigm and planting seeds that we want. Because when we plant a seed, and I know this from people that do it, if we plant a seed, the earth doesn't say, no, 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 don't put that seed in there. It just takes in whatever seed we plant. It doesn't kick it out, which is like our subconscious mind. Consciously, we are planting seeds all day long because every thought is a seed that, given enough times that we're watering and nurturing that, it's going to continue to grow. And because we have seeds that we planted in our fertile mind, our fertile subconscious mind, seeds that we planted from years ago on our beliefs about ourselves, our beliefs about life, some of those plants start taking root. So then we get to weed our garden. And that's part of the things that we do here, is we are tending our garden by coming and being conscious of what we're planting in our mind, because it's going to grow. Subconscious mind doesn't say, don't plant that seed, don't think that thought. It's just going to take it in, and that's going to be the harvest that we have. Yay! We get to create our own reality, and so making sure that the reality and the seeds that we're planting, we are doing it very consciously. Ernest Holmes, the founder of this teaching, says this: the road to self-discovery often calls for the clearing away of the underbrush of ignorance, fear, superstition, and a sense of isolation, which has made us feel that we were unworthy, unheld, and lost. In the divine providence of good, salvation is unnecessary, but self-discovery is essential. We do not save that which was lost. We merely discover that which needs to be found. There is that divine essence that flows through all of us, and through years of ads that are out there that say that we don't smell right, we don't look right, we need to take this, we need to do that in order to be good. And then the social media and all of the things that we hear, either from parents, teachers, other colleagues, students, we start throwing weeds in our beautiful garden. So it's like tilling up the garden, getting rid of all of that, going to the underbrush and the beauty and the essence of who we are. What are the real seeds? Because if we planted and nurtured ourselves with the divinity that we are, whew, best day ever, all the time, and we would know the divinity of everything. So within, so without. Knowing that we are all connected, that the greatest gift that we can give the universe is to see the divinity in ourselves. Because if we are seeing the divinity and loving ourselves, it branches out into the world. And I'm always amazed at the one mind. I've been teaching Essential Ernest Homes, and my students are from here because I'm doing it via Zoom. And so Monica, I know she did the talk, the mini talk on Sunday, and she did the mirror, mirror on the wall. I'm like, I did that last Sunday, where I was at. It's like that one mind, because we're all talking the same thing. Look at the mirror, and I was looking at it more as superstition. If you break a mirror, you have how many years bad luck? Wow, how do we all know this? These superstitions that go from passed down from generation to generation. Don't go under a ladder, you'll have bad luck. No 13th floor on a hotel. No 13th row usually on an airplane. 13 bad luck, and I had to look it up. It's like, why is 13 bad luck? So I did some exploration. And of course, they say also if you spill some salt, you throw some over your shoulder for good luck. Well, I was looking it up, and it's like, okay, the 13th, if you look at the Last Supper, the 13th guest was Judas. And it looks like he had spilled some salt, so it's like, okay, we want to have a lot of good luck. But 12 is the lucky number. We got 12 months in a year. We've got 12 signs of the zodiac, 12 days to Christmas. So 12 being the lucky number, but it's only if we believe that. I love the number 13. So we get into superstitions, and superstitions, looking at that, it's like, well, where does that date back to? Because back in the day, before they had really good modern medicine, they had doctors that would show up at your door with a bag and probably some whiskey and a saw. Yay, hey, doctor. But that wasn't really working. And as humans, we are definitely curious. It's like, there's got to be a better way. So then people started exploring. And as they were exploring different ideas, of course, the Eastern Chinese had the qi many, many years before anybody in the West really understood that, the qi, the energy around that kind of keeps everything flowing. There was a man in Paris who had this really, really great philosophy. Well, if I use these stones, these metals, and these magnets on people, I'll be able to do some healing. Well, he was having some really good luck. He was doing a lot of words, meeting with people, and he was a good-looking guy. He had dark, piercing eyes, very charismatic, so good-looking, you might even say he was mesmerizing. His name was Anton Mesmer. So Anton Mesmer, he was using these stones and these rocks and these metals, and King Louis XVI decided, hey, we need to check this guy out because all the Persian women are going and they're getting healed. What is he doing? So he had 5 of his Royal Academy people go and study him. One of them, well, 5 from the Royal Academy, and 1 person from the United States, Benjamin Franklin. So he came over and they watched what he did. He did a lot of talking. He did a lot of using the stones and the crystals, did a few manipulations, maybe some appropriate touching, maybe some inappropriate touching. But their study was inconclusive. But Anton Mesmer continued, even though his business kind of dwindled after that. He continued teaching because he knew there was something there because I've had these healings. Well, one of his students was from America, and his name was P.P. Quimby. Quimby took his classes, and he's like, well, I don't get any results from the stones, the rocks, the metals. I don't think the answer is there. But Quimby was a Christian, and so he said, I think it's from the words that he's using. And because people believe that he's got this going. And because he was a Christian, he said, this is the teachings of Jesus. It's done unto you as you believe, which made total sense. So he started teaching the mental science. He called his Christ science, he said it's really the teachings of Jesus. It's done unto you as you believe. And so he started using that. And one of his students said, take my wife, please. And he's like, what's going on? He was Mr. Patterson, and so he sent his wife, who had a lot of ailments, and the doctors in the days didn't know what was going on. She was confined to a wheelchair. So she rolled up to his house one day, knocked on the door, and said, I need some help. And so he invited her in. He worked with her. Her name was Mary Patterson, who later became Mary Baker Eddy. And she took his Christ science and made it Christian science. Well, one of her students happened to be Ernest Holmes, because he had heard of all these great teachings. He had been doing a lot of his own studies, and so he took some classes with Mary Baker Eddy. He found her teaching to be just a little too confining. He said, we must remain open at the top, because we're still learning things every single day. So as we're learning things, we need to keep the door open. We can't be so rigid in our thinking. And so he was really tapping into the divine science, religious science, as he later called it. Taking the teachings of Jesus, Buddha, Emerson, Troward, all of these great philosophies, putting them together in this wonderful teaching. And the base of everything is, it is done unto you as you believe, which is great if we have a good belief about ourselves, about our life, and about what we can accomplish. However, some of those seeds that were planted, maybe from childhood, or that we just tap into with the collective consciousness, and then we have those seeds planted, and we're growing things that maybe we don't love. So tilling our garden, pulling out those weeds, and being aware, which means taking time for ourselves. And what do I believe about myself? Do I believe I'm worthy of having this? Do I believe it's possible? And the more we believe, the more we can achieve. And making sure that we're being very careful on the things that are going in our mind, because if you spot it, you got it. The universe and the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between you and I. And so those wonderful seeds that we're planting in our subconscious mind, Ernest Holmes goes on to say this: as we have proven that principle is not bound by precedents, we go into the realm that says, behold, I make all things new, not carrying us with the limited belief of reason why it cannot be. So making sure that we're really, everything is possible. And just because I can't figure it out and lay it all out right here, doesn't mean it's not possible. There's a divine urge in all of us. It's like we don't leave this planet until we feel as though, hey, I've accomplished everything I'm ready to accomplish. Life is good, life is very good. And what is my next thing to do? It's like the caterpillar, when it's getting ready to become a butterfly. There's like a divine urge inside of it, and it goes inside and cocoons, spins all of its stuff. What do they call it? They call it first the egg stage, the caterpillar stage, the chrysalis stage, and then the adult butterfly. But it goes within, and sometimes we have to go inside ourselves, have some quiet time and say, what is it that I would love? And making sure that that's the right question that we're asking. Because sometimes it's like, here's what I could figure out. I have a friend who actually lives up in Apple Valley, and about a year ago, she was saying, she owns her own house up there, but she's like, things are getting so crazy. I think I should sell my house and downsize. And maybe you want to downsize too, and we just get a tiny house. And so we went to a tiny house conference or convention that they had down in San Diego and looked at all these tiny houses. And it's like, I support you if you're going to go that way, but I need a closet that big. So it's like, that is not something I would love. And sometimes when it feels like, I don't know how this is going to work out or how things are going to work out, we have to go to that space inside and say, Spirit, guide and direct me. Here's what I would love. Not here's what I could figure out, here's what I can afford, here's what I think will work. But tuning into that divine essence, that divine inner knower. Here's what I would love. Show me the way. Guide and direct. not here's what I can figure out. And I don't know about any of you, but I've used that seed of here's what I could figure out and planted a lot of that, watered and tilled that. So it's like I want to just create a life that I absolutely love, and this is such a great practice, and it is a practice every single day, guarding our minds and the fertile soil of our subconscious mind, because we're always planting those seeds. Let me plant seeds that I would love and not seeds that I would not love. And anytime we're judging out there in the world, we might be planting seeds that we don't love. Anytime we're looking in the mirror and saying things that are not nice to us, or maybe we didn't get something done and we're beating ourselves up, those are seeds that we would not love to have. Ernest Holmes goes on to say this: we all have the ability to transcend previous experience and rise triumphant above them. But we shall never triumphant over them while we still persist in going through the old mental reactions. That's why change your thinking, change your life. Want to make sure that we are changing our thinking and it's not the same thing that we keep thinking. If we want a better life, we get to choose a different thought. Love ourselves to the next level. I love these words from Rumi. And you, will you begin that long journey into yourself? That long journey into yourself. And when I think of that journey into ourselves, which means quiet time, being with ourselves, not having the distractions of the world, watching TV, going places. And let me tell you, when COVID first hit and I was confined, I felt like a caged up tiger. It's like, you're just like, oh, I got to get out of here. I got to go. I want to go somewhere. I got to go somewhere. I got to do. And having that time to just be, it's like, okay, let's go within and make peace with ourselves and love ourselves to that next level and get clear on what would I love and know that it's absolutely possible. I just have to change my paradigm, change my thinking, change the seeds that I'm planting that says it is possible. I can, as long as I allow. It's done unto us as we believe. And so I am knowing that each and every person here is seeing themselves in a new light, a new energy, a new mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? And the answer is, you are. I am. When we look in the mirror, and it's not so much that we're, looking at every little part of our beings, but our heart, our soul, and it's like, this is the person that I was born to be. I chose this on some spiritual level. So let me love this being, this body, this person that I am. And if there's parts of me that I'm not liking, let me dig it out. Let me get rid of that weed. And if I don't know if it's a weed or if it's something good, let me call a friend. Let me see a practitioner. Let me talk to somebody and let me weed out the stuff that isn't working for me. And have that beautiful, rich, deep soil that's just going to grow with ease, with grace, with love. And so I just feel like I want to send seeds of love to everyone, that it's like new seeds are being planted deep inside of you. And there's a part of us inside that's never been touched or hurt or harmed, that is pure and perfect spirit, so that we take time to really tap into that and let more of that grow. Knowing that this is the best day ever, and we choose well for ourselves the seeds which we wish to harvest tomorrow. And so it is. Grant always gives me X amount of time, and so he was already doing the light a little bit ago. But now we get to, we're going to do the offering first. Okay, she's ready. So let's do the offering, and then we can open it up to questions and comments and words of wisdom, because I know there is wisdom in this room. So we are going to do that offering affirmation. And if any part of this resonates with you, support this center as we lift up to the next level here. So let's say it together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good and I release my gift with love. And so it is. And so it is, knowing that we are divinely blessed by, tell you, I am just, because everyone is my teacher, and so blessed by all of the teachers and all of the people that come here, especially as we ask questions, helps us all dig a little deeper. So we get a chance to dig a little deeper, plant that seed a little stronger so it's sturdy and grounded in earth. Knowing that earth is not kicking out our seeds. They are firmly planted with sunshine, with love, with harmony. And with that, Vincent is going to run around. That is one of my favorite names. My youngest son is Andrew Vincent. So we love that. So Vincent's going to run around if anybody has a question or a comment, words of wisdom. Okay, we do have down here. Thank you.
Just to let you know, whenever I come here, something spooky happens. But this time it's planting seeds. Well, I invited my son over today for lunch, and we're going to plant some seeds out in the garden and start getting that going. But that every time I come here, it's just wonderful. Thank you.
Yay, thank you. Yes, and thank you for the beautiful planting and for knowing which are plants and which are weeds. The beautiful flowers. Anyone else? Comments, questions, words of wisdom? David. Yes.
I'm going in for a doctor appointment. I had a biopsy about 3 weeks ago, and I'd just like to have prayer around it.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's just do that right this second.
Okay.
So let's take a moment to go inside our heart of hearts, which is the deepest part of ourselves, as we just breathe in the fullness of life, knowing that there is one mind, one power, one infinite intelligence, knowing that it flows in, as, and through each and every one of us. It is the I am that we are, beautifully, brilliantly. As I speak my word and claim for David and for all of us, that everything is in divine health, that there is a flowing through and a beautiful revealing of the perfection of the I am. Knowing that life is good and life is very good. Knowing that there is pure and perfect health, wisdom, prosperity, and goodness flowing through each and every one of us. I know it flows through David, it flows through me, it flows through everyone here. As we allow every cell to just vibrate at a whole new level, a whole new light, with health, with perfection, with wisdom, and with love. Knowing that all is well. And in great gratitude, I just release my word knowing all is well. And so it is. Yeah. Awesome. I really am knowing all is well. Anyone else? Yes, Anne.
Oh, well, I loved your talk, and I love the visualization of planting the seed, how it explains the process, the creative process and science of mind. And I really appreciated your kind of summary of the chain of wisdom that's come to us, and how that started with Mesmer and then Quimby and Mary Baker Eddy and Holmes and all. I'm aware of all of those roots, but I had perhaps forgotten exactly how each one came into it through another, and it's just amazing the way wisdom evolves and goes from one to another. Thank you for giving us that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, and I know some of you know that I do hypnosis. I have done clinical hypnosis and stage hypnosis, did stage hypnosis here, turned a teenager into Dr. Moira, which was beautiful and brilliant and amazing. She gave some of the best Dr. Moira answers I've ever heard, so it was pretty enlightening. And it always reminds me of how incredibly powerful our subconscious mind is, and I love the fact that we kind of it all works together. I actually I took a picture of the cover because I didn't want to take it all out in the world, but there was an old Science of Mind magazine from 1979 that was donated up to Apple Valley, and it said hypnosis and psychic awareness. And it's like, yes! I love putting them all together because it's really the power of our subconscious mind. And I don't know if I've ever shared this, but for a while I was doing a lot of stage hypnosis, and I was at a college in Nebraska, Shadner, Nebraska, my hometown. They would book me every year for the orientation for the freshmen. And so I had about 350 people in the audience, 24 people up on stage, and I always close with the YMCA. I always make people look really good. It's like, okay, when the music comes on, you become the village people, and you jump up and inspire people to do the YMCA. Well, I changed one word. Instead of saying inspire, I said, when the music comes on, you become the village people, and you will get people to do the YMCA. I turn on the music, 24 people on stage run off stage to get people to do the YMCA with them, and it was like, oh, what did I say? I had to think back. It's like, oh, just be so careful with the words when we're working with the subconscious mind, which is a reminder that every single day we are working with our subconscious mind. It's like the earth, it can't kick out the seed or the thought that we put in there. It only takes it in, and it grows. So we want to be very careful of that wonderful space in our subconscious mind. Yeah. So being mindful, which is what I'm going to know today, that everybody's planting their own beautiful garden for their life with beautiful, brilliant seeds. Any more questions, comments, words of wisdom? Yes. Come on down. Yeah.
I wasn't going to speak, but here I am.
Yes, it happens.
The one thing that you read that Ernest Holmes, and I can't even think how to repeat it, but it was the part when you keep going over and over the issue and bringing it forward. Mm-hmm. And I am just so taken with that remark, because it is, I am right now in a I don't know what we would call it, my darling son, and his story is over and over. And that paragraph, I have to come and get it from you.
I'll give it to you.
Because I didn't hear the part with mom or friend or lover or partner is listening to this, how I'm sitting here going, this person he talks about so often lives in my living room, you know, and I love that because it was so speaking to me as and we're all one and connected. Ooh,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And what comes to, I've just thought of this right now. I remember somewhere in a workshop says take the white light and put it above us and have it flow down in the rainbow colors to the ground. And I just like that I remember that.
Yes.
But I love that quote because it seems to be mostly what the population's doing. Could you read it again?
Well, I was going through trying to figure out which one it was.
It was
so I
the
did
one where you keep repeating. If you know,
we have the ability to transcend previous experiences and rise triumphant above them, but we shall never triumphant over them while we persist in going through the old mental reactions.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
proceed to go over and over and over.
Yes.
And what I find for myself is, you just said the inner journey. And I'm saying,
Yes.
okay, this is in my face. I recognize it. How am I doing it?
Yes. Beautiful. Well, and we do have to guard the consciousness levels of the people around us. And if somebody gets into a story, I'm just like, ooh, tell me a new story. I've heard this story. Because we get into those habitual, we just want to complain. And I know that once I was doing that to my daughter, I was complaining about somebody at work. And she said, what are they needing that they're not giving themselves? It was like love and attention. Because sometimes if we just keep repeating something, it's like, what are you needing from this story? There's something underlying there. So what are they needing from that story? Because it's easy to get caught up into our stories and just keep complaining You know, same thing, different day, same thing, different day, same thing, different day. And it's like, tell me something good about that person.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much. But
yeah.
that was sort of opened my eyes to look at what it is about me and where I can learn. And one of my jokes for myself is learning curve ahead, speed up. You know?
Slow down. Oh, I love
up.
that. That's great.
And then I think, okay, and what's so challenging is that we plant the seed. Really. And my favorite part, I was 12 and I planted a garden and my father laughed his head off. We lived in the sand, you know, Playa del Rey, right here at the beach. And the only thing that grew was a carrot and it was finger length. But I liked the part that I recall that so, because I couldn't tell which was the good thing
Yeah.
and which were the weeds.
Well, it's such a metaphor for our lives. It's like, was that a good thought or was that a bad thought? I don't know. It might just be some weeds that I've been planting, and let me get more clear on that. Next Monday is Earth Day, so I really encourage everyone, even if you just get a little cup of dirt and stuff, plant some seeds, real seeds, but also mental seeds on what do I want to grow this next year? What do I want to have grow? What am I ready to manifest? And symbolically doing it that way where you're actually getting your hands in the dirt. And then I have to wash mine really fast because get your hands in the dirt and the soil, but also know that you're planting stuff mentally and physically, and it's manifesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. One more behind you. Yeah, thanks. Good. Right here.
I just wanted to add one more quick thing I just realized. Remember that saying, Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? I just thought of that. We grow it, however.
I love that. Yeah. Well, I am knowing that all of our gardens grow rich, abundantly, healthy, beautiful, amazing gardens. So let's get out there and plant some good seeds and be aware when somebody's trying to throw some weeds that we're like, whoa, that's a good seed, or no, that's not a good seed. Let's get rid of that thought. Yeah. And so it is. I am knowing that this is the best day ever. Get out there and plant your seeds. Yes. So it is. Thank you.